And I know it wasn't announced that Caitlin Clark wouldn't play until right before, but this is a preseason game where Clark is not available, and yet you probably...
Did you see what happened when the Mystics tried to bring the heat? Sophie Cunningham wasn't having it, and what happened next left fans speechless. In a game that was supposed to be a quiet preseason matchup, the Indiana Fever and the Washington Mystics delivered one of the most intense showdowns we've seen in months. And at the heart of it all, Sophie Cunningham, Indiana's fiery new addition, who not only took a brutal hit from a rookie, but came back swinging, figuratively and literally, to lead her team to a thrilling comeback victory without superstar Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark sits, Fever face early trouble.
This is the first time we're witnessing this. They're attacking Sophie Cunningham just like they did Caitlin last year. There is an agenda against this basketball team, and I'm calling it out right now. The league better step in immediately. They better step in immediately. We better not be dealing with what we dealt with last year with Caitlin.
The Indiana Fever went into their preseason opener without the biggest name in women's basketball. Caitlin Clark, who hadn't missed a game in 5 years throughout her college and early WNBA career, was sidelined due to tightness in her left leg. Head coach Stephanie White made the cautious call to prioritize Clark's long-term health, especially with a longer season ahead. That decision, while smart, left the Fever exposed. From the opening tip, the Mystics came out hunting. They smelled vulnerability and didn't hesitate to get physical. Indiana struggled badly in the first quarter. Offensive sets were clunky, layups were missed, and the energy just wasn't there. They trailed 24-13 by the end of the first, and eventually fell behind by as many as 15 points. It was shaping up to be a blowout. Sophie and the Fever say, not so fast. But then something shifted. Whether it was Coach White's animated timeout speech or just raw pride kicking in, the Fever started to claw back.
Stephanie White seemed frustrated. We were down 15. Stephanie White called the timeout, and she must have stuck her foot up her team's ass and said, you see this arena? You see all these fans that came to watch you guys? 12,461 people. They didn't come to watch you guys bullshit. They didn't come to watch you guys drag ass. Let's play some defense and let's get it together offensively.
Lexi Hull became an unlikely catalyst. She came off the bench and gave the team a jolt. 4 steals, 13 points, and non-stop hustle that disrupted Washington's rhythm. Her aggressive play helped close the deficit and brought the crowd back into the game.
Lexi Hull looked the most confident I've ever seen Lexi Hull look. Lexi Hull looked the most confident I have ever seen Lexi Hull look, putting the ball on the ground, taking it to the rack, shooting threes, middies, turnaround fades. Whether they went in or not, we can get into that another day once the season starts. But the fact that she's confident enough in her game to where she's at least willing to try to do something to make the offense happen, to create points, to create confusion among the defense.
Yet the spark that ignited the full-blown fire came courtesy of an ugly moment midway through the second quarter, the hit that changed everything. With just under 5 minutes left in the half,
Lexi Hull gets a nice steal here, runs down the court, finds Sophie Cunningham, who pumps up the
Drawn on the drive. High arcing pass, it was too high. Hull pulls down the rebound. Here's Cunningham again. Cunningham coast to coast. What a first half for Sophie Cunningham.
Oh, yeah. And this is as we've clawed back after being down 15.
Washington rookie Kiki Iriafen delivered a hit on Sophie Cunningham that looked more like a wrestling move than a basketball play.
Cunningham and Lexi Hull, these two players. Sophie Cunningham gave us 21, Lexi Hull gave us 13. The Blonde Bombers is what they're calling them. We were down 15 in the first half. Why were we down 15? We cut it to within 3 at half.
As both players fought for position, Iriafen grabbed Cunningham and threw her violently to the floor. The crowd gasped. Players on both teams froze. And then, like a match to gasoline, Sophie popped up and stormed back to confront Iriafen face to face. It was a moment, not just for Cunningham, but for this entire Indiana squad. The officials reviewed the play and handed out a flagrant one, foul. Many argued it should have been more, but the message had already been received. The Fever weren't going to let this slide.
Kiki Iriafen, and I got to tell you, here we go with the smiling like you've done. I don't get it. This is the worst part of the WNBA. It is.
Sophie Cunningham wasn't going to be bullied. And this game was far from over. The Fever pushed back. Cunningham, who had joined the Fever in a multi-team offseason trade, was already having a solid night, but after that hit, she went nuclear. The response wasn't just verbal, though she certainly let Iriafa know exactly how she felt. It was on the scoreboard. She poured in 21 points.
This was another one right here. This was Brittany Sykes, and DeWanna Bonner got involved in this one. She did. Little standing on business.
Leading Indiana's offense with confidence and fire, she moved with purpose, attacked the basket, and drilled timely shots.
Sophie Cunningham playing out of this world made me feel good. I saw ball movement on offense, made me feel good. I saw no volleyball passes on, made me feel good. I saw fight from everybody that was on the court at once. There was no 4 versus 5 when it came to fight, heart on the, we weren't lacking that today. We weren't lacking heart at all. And in case people thought this team might be lacking some heart, you got one thing coming to you. You think you're gonna be pushing around Sophie Cunningham like that? Don't worry. Sophie, I got you.
This proves there is an agenda against the Indiana Fever. There is an attack agenda.
Every bucket was a response. Every hustle play was a statement. But the Mystics weren't done with their antics. Later in the game, veteran Brittany Sykes delivered another hard shove to Cunningham, sending her crashing once again. This wasn't tough defense. It was targeted aggression. Fortunately for Indiana, this time they weren't alone. Veteran forward DeWanna Bonner immediately stepped in, confronting Sykes and standing up for her teammate. The Fever bench erupted, and the message became clear. This isn't last year's Indiana Fever. A new culture takes hold. What we witnessed was more than just a basketball game. It was the emergence of a new culture in Indiana, one that refuses to be pushed around.
Sophie Cunningham, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal in 11 minutes off the bench in the first half. Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hall played a majority of this game for the Indiana Fever. And they played together a majority of the time they were in this game. Sophie Cunningham showed exactly why we brought her in here. We won that trade hands down. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We won the Sophie Cunningham trade.
Sophie Cunningham didn't just take hits, she hit back on the scoreboard. Lexi Hull didn't just defend, she disrupted.
Austin looking backdoor and got it to Cunningham.
You guys know what else we're seeing in all these videos? Movement. AB. Up there comes Kelsey around the top. There goes Lexi Hull, backdoor. Sophie Cunningham, backdoor. Lexi Hull goes back out to the corner. God forbid, folks, we are seeing things that we haven't seen at all last season.
And Bonner made it known. Mess with one, and you mess with all. Coach Stephanie White later praised Cunningham's presence, calling her a dog, a term of respect for players with heart, grit, and competitive fire.
First and foremost, they play so hard. They play with multiple levels of effort. They're both just tough as nails. They have length. They use their length really well, their activity level on the defensive end and offensively. I mean, they're like mirror images of one another. I mean, the way that they can cut, the way that they can spread the floor, and what they bring on the defensive end of the floor.
She raises the level of play for everyone around her. White noted, she brings energy, communication, toughness. She's going to be huge for us this season, and she's right.
You want to make sure that your home court is special to you as a team, but you want to make it hard as heck for other people to come in here to Gamebridge, and they don't want to play here, right? And I think with that, as an energy player, you got to get your fans involved. That's our 6th man right there.
The Fever looked like a completely different team compared to last year. No Caitlin Clark, no problem, for this night at least. What did you think of Sophie Cunningham's fiery performance? Do you think the Fever can keep winning without Caitlin Clark? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more WNBA action, and turn on the bell so you never miss a moment.